Fields on the turn. They're off. That's Lieutenant Monterey for the early lead. Brooklet's Honor came out of there second. Getting off third, Chicago Maze with Muncie Barron and Kendall North. And around the turn, Lieutenant Monterey leads Brooklet's Honor, driving from second. Chicago Maze is third. Muncie Barron is fourth. Racing in fifth position of the quarter, Kendall North in sixth. Corky Starlight. Passing Guest is seventh. Racing in eighth, Sunny Rabbit. Fox Valley Blitz at the end. They go off the quarter-mile pole in 28 4/5. On the front end, the leader by a length is Brooklet's Honor. Racing in second to the 3/8 pole, Lieutenant Monterey. Muncie Barron is third. Coming on fourth, Kendall North. Racing along the rail fifth as they go to the half mile, Chicago Maze. Into the half mile, the leader by a length after a half and a minute and 2/5 is Brooklet's Honor. On the outside, the challenger second to the 3/4, Muncie Barron. Lieutenant Monterey a strong third along the rail. On the outside, Kendall North is fourth. Chicago Maze fifth. Racing sixth is Sunny Rabbit. He goes three wide, racing in seventh to the 3/4 mile pole. That's Passing Guest. Corky Starlight is eighth. Trailing the field around the turn is Fox Valley Blitz. They turn for home. The leader by a head and shoulders. Brooklet's Honor on the outside. Racing in second is Muncie Barron. They're in the lane. Muncie Barron on the outside along the rail. Racing in second and holding the lead now is Brooklet's Honor. It's Brooklet's Honor, Muncie Barron out there second. Brooklet's Honor and Muncie's Barron. Brooklet's Honor. They're off. Along the inside for the early lead goes Prairie Inco with Shimano moving up. On the outside as they drive for position into the turn goes Dancing Over with Major Majestic, and Dancing Over gets that lead. Shimano Racing second, Major Majestic third. Prairie Inky is fourth, racing in fifth. Lake Hills Jeffrey Royal Phantom is sixth. Racing in seventh as they go by the stands the first time on the outside of horses comes Bevo. They go down to the 1/4 mile on the front end. The leader is Dancing Over. Racing up on the outside, Prairie Inky along the rail. Shimano with Major Majestic. Lake Hills Jeffrey comes on fifth. Racing in sixth is Royal Phantom, and around the turn, that's Prairie Inky on the outside, down along the rail. Dancing Over. They go off the half-mile juncture in a minute and a fifth. On the outside, Prairie Inky ahead, down along the rail. Dancing Over is second, racing in third. Lake Hills Jeffrey Shimano fourth. Royal Phantom fifth, racing in sixth. Major Majestic in seventh. That's Captain V pacing up eighth. On the outside of horses, Karate Champ. The trailer as they go to the 3/4 mile mark is Bevo. They turn for home on the front end. Dancing Over leads. Shimano moves through to be second. They're in the lane. It's Dancing Over leading on the outside. Prairie Inky with Shimano third. Major Majestic looking for room fourth. Dancing Over the leader on the outside. Lake Hills Jeffries closing ground. Trapped in there is Major Majestic. Dancing Over. Fails on the turn. They're off. Along the inside, Cy Scooter for the early lead. Coming away second as they look for position. Conception on the outside, driving up into that first turn. Goes CM Goose. And around the turn they go. That CM Goose on the outside getting the lead. Cy Scooter is second, racing in third. Conception Del Gimbal fourth. Earth Tremors is fifth. They go off the quarter-mile pole. Up on the front end to get that lead is Cy Scooter. Earth Tremors moves up sharply second. Racing in third as they go to the 3/8 pole. That's Conception. Make that CM Goose. On the move now is Conception fourth. Del Gimbal is fifth. They swing round the turn, go into the half mile. The leader is Earth Tremors. Up on the outside, Del Gimbal to be second. Racing in third after a half is Cy Scooter. Over to the 3/4, Earth Tremors leads. Del Gimbal is second. Down along the rail third to the 3/4 goes Cy Scooter. Racing in fourth position, Conception. Down along the inside, CM Goose is fifth. Racing in sixth along the mid-back side, that's Spectra Vision with Sailor's Luck seventh. Racing in eighth as they go to the 3/4 mile mark comes MBL. They swing round the turn on the front end. The leader is Earth Tremors. Racing second is Cy Scooter. They're in the lane. Earth Tremors leads. Cy Scooter is second. Racing in third through the stretch on the outside comes CM Goose. It's Earth Tremors, the leader. Cy Scooter is closing on the outside. Earth Tremors and Cy Scooter in a driving finish. They're off. Along the inside for the early lead goes Corsair Carson, coming away second as they drive for position. Wolfie's Boy on the outside, dropping in third now is Max Grandstander. It's Corsair Carson, the leader. Off stride there was Mamasty. They move over to the quarter-mile pole up on the outside. Max Grandstander to challenge Corsair Carson for the lead. They go off the quarter, 29 2/5. Max Grandstander leading, racing in second. That's Corsair Carson. In third to the 3/8 Wolfie's Boy. Crystal Society racing fourth. In fifth to the half-mile marker comes Egyptian Charmer with Skipper Magoo sixth. They swing round the turn, go over to the half-mile mark on the front end. The leader is Max Grandstander. Corsair Carson racing second. On the outside, coming on third as they go to the 3/4. That's Crystal Society moving up to be fourth. Skipper Magoo. Crystal Society on the outside. Max Grandstander on the inside. In third to the 3/4, Corsair Carson. Skipper Magoo is fourth, racing in fifth round the turn. Comes Wolfie's Boy on the outside. Poco Max moves up sixth. They turn for home. The leader is Max Grandstander. Racing in second, Crystal Society. Corsair Carson looks for room. Now it's Crystal Society getting the lead on the outside. Skipper Max, Corsair Carson moving up the middle. That's Corsair Carson getting up. They're off. That's Electric Cat with Noble Alba, Raging Ralph alertly along the rail, coming away fourth. Star Date into the first turn. Noble Alba gets the lead. Electric Cat second. Raging Ralph is third, racing in fourth. Star Date, Snowberry fifth, Barrison Bow sixth, Billy Scott seventh, Bo Hickett eighth, Antonio for ninth and last. Field goes by the quarter, 29 seconds the leader. Noble Alba, Electric Cat is second, Raging Ralph is third on the outside. Snowberry comes on fourth. Star Date is fifth. Barrison Bow moves up sixth. Racing in seventh, Billy Scott. Into the half mile, Noble Alba's had the best of it, still does, a length and 3/4. Electric Cat second, Raging Ralph is third. Snowberry out there fourth off the half-mile pole. 59 4/5. They go to the 3/4. The leader a length. Noble Alba, Snowberry hustles up to be second. Electric Cat is third. Raging Ralph is fourth. Barrison Bow hanging out there fifth. In sixth, Star Date. Final quarter of a mile on the front end. The leader by a length as they go to the 3/4 mile pole. Noble Alba. Dropping back there is Snowberry saving ground. Electric Cat forced to go 3 wide will be Raging Ralph. They're in the stretch. The leader, Noble Alba, racing in second. Electric Cat on the outside. Raging Ralph. It's Noble Alba. Electric Cat is closing ground with Raging Ralph. They're 3 across in a driving finish. They're off. That's Sycamore's Carry for the early lead. On the outside, Lapalula came away, getting off third, Millie's Baby with Pulitzer Prize. And into the first turn, Lapalula takes the lead, racing in second position. Sycamore's Carry in third to the 1/4 mile. Millie's Baby, and now Sycamore's Carry not unexpectedly drives from second up to get that lead. They go off the quarter, 29 and a ticket. Sycamore's Carry to the top. Lapalula second by 3 lengths. Millie's Baby is third, racing in fourth position. Pulitzer Prize on the outside. Sevi moves up fifth, driving from third. Millie's Baby. They go into the half-mile pole. The leader, Sycamore's Carry, racing in second. That's Lapalula. Millie's Baby out there third, coming on fourth. Pulitzer Prize, the half, 59 4/5. Over to the 3/4. Sycamore's Carry a length on the outside. Millie's Baby second, Lapalula third, Pulitzer Prize fourth. Sevi comes to fifth. Nicholsworth is sixth. Marengo Lane seventh. Waltz Rorty eighth and last. Final 3/8 of a mile. Sycamore's Carry head and shoulders on the outside. Millie's Baby is second, moving up third. That's Pulitzer Prize. They turn for home at Sycamore's Carry, 3/4 of a length. Millie's Baby out there second with Pulitzer Prize third. Sevy closing ground. Fourth, Millie's Baby on the outside. Here comes Sevy closing ground. Sycamore's Carry is still there. Sevy and Sycamore's Carry with Pulitzer Prize. They're off. Along the inside, Richard Lomont for the early lead. Between horses, Millie's Niatros, Missile Escort. Dropping in there around the turn goes I Furioso with Shannon Beam, and around the turn, up on the outside, Millie's Niatros to take the early lead. Racing in second, Richard Lomont. He's ready to go, and there he goes. They go off the quarter-mile juncture in 28 2/5. Richard Lomont gets the lead. Racing in second as they go by the 3/8 pole. That's Millie's Niatros. On the front end, the leader of length is Richard Lomont. Millie's Niatros is second. There goes I Furioso up on the outside with Shannon Beam down along the rail. Comes Missile Escort. They go to the half-mile pole. On the front end, the leader by a length is Richard Lomont. I Furioso, the challenger, second. Racing in third, Millie's Niatros on the outside. Fourth, Shannon Beam along the rail. Fifth to the 3/4. Missile Escort racing up. Sixth is Bryant Gimbel. Final 3/8 of a mile on a short lead. That's Richard Lomont. I Furioso pressing second. Coming on third is Shannon Beam along the rail. Fourth, that's Millie's Niatros. They're in the lane. On the front end, I Furioso gets the lead. Richard Lomont along the rail. Shannon Beam is closing ground. It's Richard Lomont, I Furioso, Shannon Beam on the outside. Richard Lomont leads. Shannon Beam is closing Richard Lomont. They're off. Along the inside for the early lead goes Aber Time, racing in second as they swing round the first turn, and caught on the outside there between horses was Comperi with Mark Aubin as they go to the quarter, and now Comperi races up to get that lead. Racing in second as they enter the stretch the first time, that's Aber Time on the outside. Third, Danorama. Boy, they want that lead here. Aber Time's right back after him now. Now it's Aber Time getting the lead. Comperi is second, racing in third. Flying Count. Danorama's fourth, racing in fifth. Double Time Tough. They go over to the 3/8 pole. The leader by a length and a half as they go into the turn is Aber Time. Racing in second position round the turn is Comperi. On the outside, third, Double Time Tough, followed right along there by Cruise to Victory. Racing in fifth, that's Flying Count, who took a box, and they're on the back stretch. The leader is Aber Time, 3/4 of a length. On the outside, racing in second to the 3/4 mile pole, Double Time Tough in third position on the back stretch. That's Comperi racing in fourth as they go to the 3/4 mile mark now. Comes Cruise to Victory. They go off the 3/4, 1:31 2. They turn for home. The leader is Aber Time. On the outside, the challenger second in the lane. Double Time Tough. It's Aber Time leading. Double Time Tough out there second. Racing in third through the lane comes Cruise to Victory. It's Aber Time in front with Cruise to Victory. Aber Time. They're off. Along the inside for the early lead goes Bite Your Tongue, coming away second as they look for position. Lord Greg on the outside into that turn. Keystone Raider with Mystery Fund also on the outside. Mohegan Pride. They drive round the turn. The leader is Bite Your Tongue. Racing up second, Keystone Raider coming on third as they go to the quarter-mile. Mystery Fund. Now it's Keystone Raider getting the lead. The quarter, 28 and a tick. It's Keystone Raider. Mystery Fund, the challenger, second. Racing in third to the clubhouse turn goes Bite Your Tongue. Racing up fourth on the outside of Horses Round the turn to the half mile is Lord Greg, followed in fifth by Dark Rye, and Lord Greg moves up sharply on the outside. They went off the half mile, 56 3/5. On the front end, the leader 3 parts of a length is Mystery Fund. On the outside, Lord Greg, the challenger, second. Keystone Raider, third. Dark Rye racing fourth in his favor, moves up fifth. Racing in sixth as they go to the 3/4 on the inside. That's Bite Your Tongue, the 3/4, 126. They turn for home. On the front end, Mystery Fund. On the outside, Lord Greg coming on third is Dark Rye. They're in the lane. Mystery Fund's under urging on the outside. Lord Greg racing second. It's Mystery Fund. Lord Greg on the outside, second. Mystery Fund. Lord Greg and Keystone Raider. Mystery Fund. They're off. Along the inside, that's Social Minded with Taken by Surprise. Moving up, Fyro Bobo on the outside into contention. Goes Arsenal Express, and around the turn they go. The early leader by a length and a half is Taken by Surprise. There's a hole there for Arsenal Express in front of Cardamom Tim. They go down to the quarter mile. The leader is Taken by Surprise. They go off the quarter mile post, 28 3/5. Racing in second as they go to the 3/8 pole. And now Cardamom Tim's on the move there. So's Arsenal Express on the move. They're all on the move. They go to the half mile mark. The leader a length and a half. Taken by Surprise up on the outside to be second. Arsenal Express in third to the half mile post. Goes Social Minded, the half, 58 4/5. Now Fyro Bobo's moving. They go to the 3/4 mile mark. The leader by a head, Taken by Surprise. Arsenal Express out there second. Social Minded moves to the outside, doesn't want to get trapped there. Racing in fourth position, that's Fyro Bobo. They go to the 3/4 mile mark on the front end. The leader Taken by Surprise. Arsenal Express racing second. In third as they swing round the turn comes Social Minded from far back. Pain into Bobo. The leader Taken by Surprise. He's just out there all by himself. All by himself. Racing in second down along the rail in the stretch. That's Lake Hills, Texas, but it's taken by surprise. They're off. Along the inside for the early lead goes Country George, driving up on the outside, Chicago Ed. And around the turn, Chicago Ed gets the lead. Country George is second. Quickly up on the outside to be third as they go over to the quarter-mile pole under handling. Tonight's the night. They go down to the quarter-mile pole. Tonight's the night on the outside. Gets that lead. The quarter, only 28 3/5. It's Tonight's the night showing the way. Racing in second to the 3/8 pole. Goes Chicago Ed on the outside. Extraordinary is third. Country George racing fourth. In fifth as they go to the half-mile marker comes Colonel Potter. Legal Charmer is sixth. They go into the half-mile mark, staying out there by 2 open lengths into the 3/4. Tonight's the night. Extraordinary hustles up second. Racing in third position along the rail, Chicago Ed. On the outside, Colonel Potter fourth. Legal Charmer fifth. Country George is sixth. Racing in seventh. My Papa in eighth to the 3/4. Iron City Ale. Trailing the field is Chocolate Over. Into the 3/4. Extraordinary on the outside. Down along the rail, Tonight's the night. Colonel Potter moves 3 wide. They turn for home on the front end. The leader is Extraordinary, racing in second position through the lane on the rail. Tonight's the night. It's Extraordinary on the outside. Tonight's the night is still there. Extraordinary gets the lead with Tonight's the night second. Extraordinary.